Well, before we kick things off, an important question. Nick, how is your French?
Oh, well, le jeu...
Excellent. Yeah, moving on. Okay, so Nick can't speak French and I can't speak French either. But it's kind of irrelevant because instead of speaking French, we're actually referring to French cars. Electric cars, of course.
Très
Bien.
interesting. I mean, they're two very different cars, so they're going to suit very different tastes.
Very different tastes, exactly,
Yeah.
like croissants and camembert.
Oh, I like both of those things.
Would you have them together?
I would bake the camembert and then I would get the croissant and I would dip with a bit of chutney, nice little chutney on the
Nice.
side.
Or what about putting the camembert inside the croissant? A bit like a pain au chocolat, but changing chocolate for cheese.
That is filthy. You shut your filthy mouth. I'm hungry.
Well, I mean, it's 10:30, so I reckon that is pretty much time for lunch.
We'll do the cars and then do lunch.
Such professional.
So the Citroen ëC4X and Renault Megane E-Tech are both medium-sized family cars. They're both around the same price, but they do like to do things a little differently. The Megane here, or the Megane E-Tech to give it its proper title, is meant to be sporty, whereas the Citroen looks a little more SUV-like and majors on the comfort.
Right, shall I start with the Megane? This is the mid-range Techno version, which costs a not insignificant £38,495. That is £3,000 more than the Citroen, but it does have a lot more power at 217 brake horsepower. That's also a little more than rivals such as the Cupra Born and the Kia Niro EV. It gives a 7.5 second 0 to 62 time. There's a 60 kilowatt hour battery, which gives an official range of 280 miles.
This Citroen is the Shine Plus. It costs £35,495 and it's slightly longer than the Renault. They've saved money on the battery and motor though. It has a 50 kilowatt hour power pack and a motor producing 134 brake horsepower. Now that's 83 brake horsepower less than the Renault, so it means the 0 to 62 time is more leisurely. 9.5 seconds. The smaller battery means less range as well, only 221 miles versus the Renault's whopping 280. So do the sums, and it means that the Renault is actually more efficient too. So yeah, you get more miles for your kilowatts in the Renault, despite the bigger battery and more power. And it charges faster. Both are actually pretty good compared to rivals, but the Citroen maxes out at 100 kilowatts, whilst the Renault can take 130 kilowatts.
Okay, well then let's look at another difference, shall we?
All right. Ta-da! Oh, first time, got it on time. Well done. All right, what have you got there?
I've got a big old boot.
What is it? I've never seen one of these before, or not for a while anyway. Is that a saloon?
Yeah.
How very retro.
Look at that. Look. It's got 510 litres though. This thing is huge. This is actually bigger than an MG5, which is an estate, by the way. And also these fold down 60/40, so then you've got even more space.
Agreed, it goes a long way back, but the access is very, very limiting. Whereas my very conventional hatchback that we adore because it actually works really well as a boot. It functions because you can put loads of stuff in it.
What's your literage?
440 litres.
Well,
Not bad.
Well, it's less. It's less than this, like 70 less.
But not so usable. Very usable. So I think this is going to make the perfect hire car because it's perfect for modular things like suitcases to go right at the back,
Yes, very nice.
which you're going to be using once a year, whereas this is for your everyday junk.
Ah! Charging cables underfloor.
Got one of those and it's actually deeper.
That's annoying.
I think that's a win for this one.
Okay, shall we have a look at the rear seats of the Citroen? I mean, it's quite nice back here, quite laid back, got plenty of legroom. Oh, and look, what's this? Oh, it's a cup holder. That was quite difficult to open, wasn't it?
Now, the Megane has these hidden door handles. They look okay, but they're pretty much there just to confuse your gran. Also, when you get in, the small windows make it feel a little bit more claustrophobic, especially if you're a little one and can't see out.
Welcome to the interior of my Citroen.
Why, thank you.
It's all right. I like it's a nice
okay,
square
isn't it?
steering wheel. It's very comfortable. It's all right in here. You've got a 10-inch screen there. The screen behind the steering wheel isn't that exciting, but it's fine.
I think fine is the perfect way to describe it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fine, but there's nothing groundbreaking about it either. I feel like it's all a bit higgledy-piggledy and it's just been randomly all put together and hasn't been very well thought through. And then this sort of black, shiny, plasticky stuff, which I know is very on trend and seems to be everywhere. I just don't like it because you just cover it in your fingerprints.
It's everywhere
or
because
dust
it's cheap.
shows up.
And it literally is everywhere. It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
But nice 10-inch screen, as you said.
Knobs and buttons.
That is quite handy.
Yeah.
Can't beat the traditional button when it comes to climate control.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Wireless charging is 150 quid, by the way. And head-up display is an option if you want it. Do you want to see something cool?
Yes.
Okay.
Always.
Ta-da!
Oh. What is it?
It's
Like a gift. What
yeah.
did you buy me, Nick?
It's an iPad protector covered thing.
It's
and
a fake,
then-
so it's just an iPad case. There's no actual iPad in here.
Stay with me.
Can I give it back?
No.
Can I return it?
Put it on there. Hook it on there. That's it.
Oh.
Ah.
So now I can watch The Little Mermaid while you're driving me to wherever I need to get to.
Yes, I mean, so this, like the pulley out extension bit is standard, but the actual cover for the tablet is 100 quid.
That's quite a lot. That is, see if I can get it off. Yeah,
There you go.
it's a lovely idea, and yeah, credit to Citroen for coming up with the idea.
You don't like it?
Well, I wouldn't pay 100 quid
No.
just for the case because this little tray pulls out and I would just rest it on there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but it's a lovely idea. And maybe if you had a child in the front, but they're probably going to be in the back, aren't they? It's a good place. It won't be sort of sliding around. But
Have you broken it?
it just is quite tricky to get
fine.
on.
Storage is good.
On.
Good storage.
Good storage, okay.
Good cubbies down here. Put some things in there. Put something in there.
What are you going to put in there?
Your
Lip gloss.
yeah. I don't know what that's for. I don't know. But there we go.
All
It's
right.
all right.
Well,
And the
it's,
seats-
it's nice, fine, and
Seats.
all right.
Seats.
Actually, nice. Seats are nice. Got some good stitching in the back. And aren't these some sort of like luxury
Citroen
seat?
Advanced Comfort Seats.
There we are.
They are designed for your back and for your bum. Nice,
And
right?
my back and bum are comfortable.
Yeah, see?
So, all right, 10 out of 10 for the
You don't get
seats.
none of this in your Megane.
Well, speaking of that, let's go and have a look.
All right, fine.
Hi up there.
Why am I so high up?
Who was driving this last? We're just demonstrating the flexibility
Let me
of
go.
these
Let
chairs.
me go down. You go up.
Okay, let's meet in the middle. Hang on. That's better. That's better. Eyeline.
Yeah.
Important. So,
This is all right.
I think, come on.
Okay.
It's better than all right.
Yeah, this feels more futuristic.
is Swish. Yeah, but not too futuristic. I don't like futuristic. Whereas I feel like this is well designed. It's got a bit of more of a kind of luxy feel to it.
I like this wraparoundy look.
Exactly. We have
That's
two
nice.
lovely screens. Only 9-inch in the cars coming to the UK, but a lovely 14-inch display screen. And as you say, they're integrated. So it just feels complete, well thought through. What do you think to your seats?
I mean, not as comfortable as a Citroen. Not as comfortable. However, hello, splash of colour.
Exactly.
And along here.
Which is integrated in the back seats as well. So it's not just like random colour on the door. It's integrated through the whole design of the car. And you've got buttons, so you'll be happy about that.
They're not buttons, they're flappies.
physical
That's all right.
physical knobs.
It's quite satisfying.
Charging included in the car. Don't have to pay extra for that. Wireless
nice.
charging for your phone. And lots of space when it
Does that
comes
lift?
to deep pockets,
Put the key in there.
charge card and key.
Yes. And this is where you put your mug, right, or your cup, and then you move that back, and then that's where you put your bowl. Do you know what I wish it had? I wish it had somewhere to put an iPad. That would be so much
I
better.
just feel like our drives, it's all about the art of conversation. You're not even going to need your iPad.
Okay,
No.
all right, fair enough.
Not going to need it.
Okay.
I tell you what, the other thing I get, paddles for the regen.
Yeah, regen in there is just you press B and that's it. You can't control the level of it.
Boring, boring. I love it. Love a steering wheel with paddle.
It's B for regen, obviously.
And I get a nice little button here to change my drive modes. I don't know why it's called multi-sense, but it is.
Yeah.
And what do we think about the shape of the steering wheel?
It's very similar.
Yeah,
Very similar to the Citroen. I do have to say, actually, when it comes to even the material down here. Oh, look! There's lighting along here.
There you go.
There's lighting. Oh, yeah, it's nicer in here.
So there you go.
Yeah, it's nice. Just not as comfortable. Now, the older members of Electrifying always bang on about the fact that Citroen was designed for comfort originally. It was kind of designed to go across like ploughing fields and things like that. So this has always been made for comfort. And they've continued to do that. I mean, there is like a very clever suspension system going on that makes everything really soft and it soaks up the lumps and bumps really, really well. It's called Progressive Hydraulic Cushions, which we think sounds like a good name for a band. The Progressive Hydraulic Cushions, playing at Glastonbury this year. I'd buy their album. But actually it's really impressive. I mean, it soaks up the lumps and bumps reasonably well. When you compare it to the Megane, so driving the Megane and then driving this, you can really feel the difference in terms of comfort. And it's not just the suspension, it's also down to the seats, because these seats are so comfortable. So comfortable. These seats give me a very happy bum. The thing with having really soft suspension though, is it rolls a little bit more in the corners. So in terms of cornering, yeah, the Megane's probably better in that sense. But this isn't designed to be a fast car that you're going to take around the corners quickly. This isn't designed for that. This is a car that's designed to take things reasonably relaxed. Yeah, it's not a fast car. You put your foot down, it's not going to whiz away. It's going to do 0 to 62 in under 10 seconds, which isn't fast for an EV. But it's a very relaxing car to drive. It's perfectly fine. I would like it to be quieter. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's quite a bit of wind noise. Quite a bit of wind and road noise. The Megane's a bit quieter, actually. This is a bit noisier, which is weird because considering this is designed for comfort, you'd expect it to be quieter, if that makes sense.
All right, let's take this little Renault Megane E-Tech to the roads. And I mean, instantly, I can feel that this is so much sportier than the Citroen. It's just a lot more responsive. You've got those lovely big 20-inch wheels underneath you. And the handling is just superior. It's really, really enjoyable to drive. You got a real push on the accelerator there. An instant feedback from putting it into sport. Now, just then, bit of a pothole in the road. It's not ideal feeling every lump and bump under your tyres. Now, I am on a country road, so you can see me kind of jiggling around a bit. It doesn't glide through potholes quite as smoothly as perhaps the Citroen does, but it's not bad. You're not going to, I think, complain about it too much. I would say it's kind of in line with competitors in terms of the smoothness of the driving. And ultimately, this is still an electric car, which always brings that element of such a smooth ride as you're not shifting through the gears constantly. Now, even in eco mode, I would feel super confident making any overtakes. It just has that extra bit of power to give you the confidence when driving. And talking about comfort, well, look at me. A heavily pregnant woman who needs to be comfortable at all times, and I would be perfectly happy doing a long drive in this. Old pothole? It was a small pothole. And you can't really feel it too badly, if I'm completely honest. So I really do think that the drive in this is enjoyable, it's agile, and it's fun. I like it.
Right, there's only one last thing to talk about, and that is costs. So the Renault is the more expensive car,
And it's going to be more expensive to insure too. It's in Group 27 versus the Citroen's 22. They're both lower than the MG4 though, interestingly.
Well, the really interesting thing is the monthly repayments, which are pretty vital to most of us who buy on some sort of finance. Using Renault and Citroen's own figures, we looked at the PCP finance for a buyer putting down $8,000, doing 10,000 miles a year and paying over 3 years. Bear in mind, these can change all the time if someone has a special offer. But for the Citroen, it's £526 a month. For the Renault, it's £446 a month.
The Renault is more expensive, but actually a little bit cheaper. It's got a bigger range, it charges faster, it's more efficient, and it drives better. Remind me, what do we actually like about the Citroen?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I think I'd rather go home in your Renault. Look, this will suit a lot of people. If you like to take things slowly and be more relaxed and be more comfortable, if you live around in a place like this where there's lots of potholes and stuff, you want to go for one of these.
Yeah. So basically, if you value comfort over anything else, that's your car. And if you enjoy all the other attributes, then go for this.
And a big boot.
And a big boot. I reckon that is the car perfect for my dad, who has a bad back, sciatica. So if you were in that category, the Citroen, and for everybody else, the Renault.
Fair? Yeah, I think that's fair.
So if you're looking for more reviews or you're just intrigued about what you should know before making the switch, head over to electrifying.com. We've got everything you need to know because we are here to clear the air.